Hi, family and friends. Just wanted to make a video of what's going on and kind of document what's happening to me, and maybe it'll put other people at ease if they ever find themselves in the same situation that I find myself in right now. Um, First of all, it's amazing how many people have called and sent messages and texts and messages on Facebook and posts to the wall, all those things, and they mean a lot to me. This is probably the most difficult period I've ever had in my life, trying to deal with what's happening. And I told you that it was a little complicated. I'll make it very brief. I have two options. Well, three. One is I could just live with the high-grade dysplasia and not do anything about it and just see if it turns into cancer or not. Problem with that is the odds of it becoming cancer or already being cancerous are pretty high. So that's, to me, not an option. You don't gamble with your life like that, especially when you're 40 years old and you have a wife and two kids. That's just not something I'm going to do. So the decision has been made now that it's going to be surgery. The surgery that I can have, there's two options. One is I could try to have what is called J-pouch surgery, where the colon and rectum would be removed, and I would have an internal pouch where I would use the bathroom like everybody else, and I would go probably between 2 to 6 times a day, somewhere around there, which, since I've had colitis, is about average for me anyway. There's a problem with that, though. At first I thought it was just because I might have Crohn's, but the surgeon I saw yesterday says that the fistula that I have didn't necessarily look like a Crohn's fistula. So there's still a good chance that I don't have Crohn's, which would be great. No matter what, it's going to be good not to have Crohn's. But the problem is I have high-grade dysplasia, which, of course, again, is precancerous or very close to cancer. He said to me that under the microscope, colon cancer and high-grade dysplasia look very similar, so it's close. The problem with that is we don't know where the dysplasia is, so I would have to go for another special colonoscopy where they would look through the colon and try to pinpoint where the high-grade dysplasia is. And if it were close to the bottom of my colon where the muscles are that they would have to keep in that area, then he can't do it, because if he does the J-pouch and I develop cancer, we won't see it. The J-pouch would cover up those the bottom part of the colon, or the muscles of the colon that are left over, and they can still develop cancer. And I would get cancer and I would die, because there would be we wouldn't know until it was already too late. So if I get this colonoscopy, the special colonoscopy, they'll take tons and tons of biopsies of that area, and they'll try to decide whether there's high-grade dysplasia in that area. If there's not, then it's possible that we could do the J-pouch. If they find the high-grade dysplasia somewhere else, way up higher into the colon, then he would be willing to do the J-pouch. Now, here's the thing. If you take those biopsies, and they'll try to biopsy tons and tons of that area, but they can't get all of it, they could potentially miss a spot of high-grade dysplasia, even if it comes back that it's clean. So there is a gamble there. I got to figure out how much that gamble is. If it's 5% chance that they'll miss it, then maybe it's worth trying the J-pouch. I'm leaning against that. I think it's probably better to have the complete removal of everything and have the external bag and know that there's no possible chance of cancer. But I would say I'm about 85 to 95% leaning that way. But I got to think about it for a couple of days and see if I'm going to go through that test. So that's where I stand right now. It's the one thing that he's assured me is that I'm going to be able to do everything that I do right now. The weightlifting will continue, and that's such a big part of my life. I know people don't understand that. I know my own family, they don't understand why that's so important to me, but I'll get into that another time. But he assured me that even with the external bag, I can do those things. I can lift weights. I can ski. I can take the kids and carry, lift the kids and do all the things that I need to do. So I'm feeling better about having an external bag. I don't think anybody wants it. I'm not looking forward to it. But in the next couple days, I'll decide whether that's the road to go and whether I'm going to put myself through all these other tests to see if the J pouch is still possible. But at this point, I'm thinking the J pouch is only about 15% possible, maybe 10%, somewhere around there. So not very likely. But again, thanks for all the support, the prayers, the love. I appreciate it. People say I'm tough and able to get through all this stuff, but not without help. There's no way. If this were before Facebook or before the internet, this would be a lot tougher because I would only be able to rely on people very close to me at that point. But when you're getting support from everywhere, it really feels good. So thank you. And I'll get into later more about the game, but we're doing the game against the Flyers alumni to combat ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. And I hope everybody will join us for that. It would be nice to have you there so I could give everybody a big hug as thanks for all you've done for me and all the support. And the money would go to a good cause because we got to stop this. This is ridiculous for anybody to have to deal with this. I don't want my kids, who are now 30% more likely to have these problems, to be in this position ever. I don't want anybody to be in this position ever. So thank you, and I'll keep you abreast of what's going on, and thanks for caring enough to want to know what's going on. I appreciate that very much. Either way, I'm going to win this. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to let it win. So thank you very much.